Dr. Jane Foster is confident that the Avengers are still alive. In their last battle against the Cabal, she believes that the Cabal didn't disintegrate them, but teleported them to a far distance. She has finally found a way to backtrace the missing Avengers through space-time. That said, she sends others to retrieve their missing friends carrying tethers that will be their lifeline back. She orders them to find the Avengers and then activate the tethers to return home. She urged them not to activate them if they have not found the Avengers, as they will only have one shot at it. Later, Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel are violently sent on an icy asteroid in deep space. Kamala nearly fell into a pool of lava through the crevice like a dumbass, but thankfully Captain Marvel saved her. When she starts fangirling, Captain Marvel tells her to get her shit together, as if she has done this before. Kamala explains that they are sent on an asteroid in deep space, and nothing remotely close has she ever been in this situation. Captain Marvel claims the terrain is unusual, seeing lava and ice together. They quickly explored a cave at a nearby glacier. As they were climbing a cliff, hoping to keep a low profile, they were later greeted by mysterious assailants with glowing weapons. Captain Marvel tries to talk them down, but they refuse to listen to her and attack them. They manage to beat their ass and capture the last one for interrogation. Their prisoner claims they are on their Majesty's asteroid and would deal with them personally. As they ventured deeper, they came across an icy fortress. When Captain Marvel brazenly walks up to its gates, Kamala worries that they are walking into a trap. While thinking about what to do, they are suddenly pulled inside, and the door closes behind them. Captain Marvel claims the enemy already knows they are there and would be rude to keep them waiting. Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel walk up to the throne room, where they find Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. Captain Marvel claims Thor wouldn't just leave it when they suddenly hear a voice. Out of nowhere, Enchantress appears before them and explains that Thor's hammer serves as her footrest. She claims they were the first to visit her asteroid and haven't had the chance to entertain her guests yet. Kamala suspects that it must be because of Asgardian magic that fire and ice coexist, which Enchantress claims is her own personal kingdom, a fairy tale palace with servants that adore and serve her. Captain Marvel demands to know where the fuck the Avengers are, but Enchantress claims that she is already bored of them. Irked by them, Enchantress summons a knight to capture Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel. Despite being clad in armor, the so-called bodyguard is quick on his feet. Only after working together did they manage to get a clean hit on him, but they were surprised to discover that it was Thor when his helmet fell off. It turns out that Enchantress has enslaved Thor's mind and is using him as her bodyguard. She claims that since she cast her enchantment on him, Thor has been her favorite plaything, doing anything and everything she wants him to do. Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel struggled to defeat him as they held back against the person they were tasked with finding. Thor eventually gets the better of them and knocks them both out, much to the Enchantress's delight. Later, Captain Marvel and Kamala find themselves in prison, where their powers are ineffective against it. Captain Marvel suspects their cells must be enchanted to prevent them from breaking out with their powers. Kamala worries that their tethers are gone, and they no longer have a way back home. Suddenly, Thor walks in on them, and they try to convince him to wake up, but Enchantress shows up confident of her brainwashing. Captain Marvel confronts the Enchantress, claiming that she only joined the Cabal to capture Thor, but the Enchantress claims she joined them for the power. She admitted that she had always wanted Thor for herself for the longest time. She then reminds Captain Marvel of the time she hit her on the leader's airship. Captain Marvel is thrilled that she has a grudge against her, but Enchantress claims she doesn't hold grudges. She finishes them. Suddenly, the ground disappears, and they fall into what seems to be an arena. Captain Marvel tries to escape, but they find themselves trapped inside a barrier that is the Enchantress's doing. Enchantress and Thor appear before them and call it her arena of sport. She claims to have invented a game that she'll watch them play. She explains that there is only one rule: stay alive. She then summons several chests of mystery, which they could use to aid them in their fight. When asked who they will be fighting against, Enchantress summons a snowman. Kamala was relieved they would be pitted against a snowman, but Enchantress claims she built it herself. Using her magic, the snowman turned into an ugly-ass sinister giant out to get them. Captain Marvel fires off at it, but the snowman is unscathed and retaliates by firing several giant snowballs at her. Kamala tries punching it, but her arms get caught in it, and the snowman captures her. Captain Marvel arrives and rescues her, but the snowman reconstitutes itself and becomes more powerful. Enchantress is thrilled watching on the sidelines as her creation attacks Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel. She claims to love sports and their intensity, drama, and cruelty. She explains that sports are like war, only with more hate. Worried that she is of no help, Kamala decides to check on the chests in the arena. With chemicals and a few electronic junk, Captain Marvel claims they will make do with what they have. That said, Kamala goes around the snowman and drops the chemicals on it when Captain Marvel lures its attention. Using Captain Marvel's powers, she drops the electronic devices, which causes an explosion that blows up the snowman. With a moment to themselves, Kamala apologizes for being indecisive, worried that she'd mess up. Captain Marvel claims it's okay to mess up and explains that being perfect isn't as crucial as being decisive. She claims she's an Avenger, so she should take the initiative to try something and see if it works. Enchantress was furious at them for blowing up her snowman. She claims they were lucky that time, but she'll keep putting them back in the arena until their luck runs out. She then sends Thor to get them, but Captain Marvel escapes through the wall. Captain Marvel claims they won't be able to outrun him, but Kamala explains that they don't need to. They just need him to follow them. She claims that if they can have Thor touch his hammer, it might break the enchantment that the Enchantress put on him. Hopefully, they won't have to fight and focus on slowing him down. Together, they manage to restrain Thor and have him touch his hammer, but even then, it doesn't break the enchantment on him. Enchantress appears and laughs at them, claiming that she wouldn't make it that easy for them. She argues that although they managed to defeat her snow beast, no one can survive against the might of Thor. She then orders Thor to kill them. While Kamala is still down for the count, Captain Marvel confronts Thor alone. Although she initially struggled against him, Captain Marvel was previously holding back against him, and this time, she decided to go all out. Enchantress is happy seeing them taking each other out, thrilled by the destruction and the brutality. Kamala recovers and jumps at Enchantress when she turns her back on her. Enchantress is furious and summons stone creatures to fight for her. Although she managed to toss one of the creatures off the cliff, she was caught off guard and fell as well. While clinging to the side of a cliff, Enchantress orders her creature to finish her off. When it jumps at her, she outsmarts it, and it falls into the bottomless pit. As Kamala climbs back up, Enchantress powers up to finish her, but Thor jumps to defend her. Seeing Ms. Marvel fighting for her life, Thor was brought back to his senses and broke the enchantment when Captain Marvel made him remember his friends. As an electrical surge pulses through the fortress, Thor summons his hammer to him and makes his heroic return as a member of the Avengers. Enchantress refuses to give up and summons a mighty wind to blow Captain Marvel against the wall and Thor and Ms. Marvel floating in the air. Thor swings his hammer around and sends the wind away with the force of his power. When Enchantress turned around, Captain Marvel got close and punched her in the face. Enchantress is furious at them for ruining her perfect kingdom. She claims that if her beautiful world must be destroyed, so shall the rest of them. Suddenly, a bright light covers the entire planet, briefly blinding them. Captain Marvel later noticed that the asteroid was moving, to which Enchantress claimed to have directed it towards the nearest star. She explains that everything will be incinerated, including them, while she remains in the magic barrier she protected herself with. She then left them to their doom and disappeared with her magic. Thor claims they too should leave before the entire asteroid explodes, but Kamala worries about the others who were once servants to the Enchantress. She claims that they too need to save them. Using Thor's power, they shattered the asteroid into two, the other half veering away from the burning star and saving everyone. Enchantress appears before them, claiming that they may have won this fight, but she and her allies have won the game. She then warns them that they have yet to begin the suffering that they have prepared for them. Thor claims it is time to return home, but Kamala worries that Enchantress took the tethers that were supposed to take them home. He explains that there is no need for a tether because, with his powers, he can open the Bifrost, which will take them back home. Once they returned, they were surprised to see New York frozen all over with dragons flying around. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.